What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with the brand new All Tea, All Shade, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 13, Episode 3 review. Before we start, I want to say a welcome to all of my new T Squad members. I had a lot of new subscribers last week, so welcome over here to my channel. FYI, nothing is to be taken seriously. We have fun over here. Everything is shits and giggles. If you are easily offended, please log off of my channel because we don't take ourselves seriously over here. Anybody can get it over here. Nobody is off limits over here. Be respectful in the comments section. We all respect each other. We're a family. We're a squad. It's okay to have differences of opinion, but no need to argue over folks that you don't know and don't give a fuck about you. And last but not least, don't come for me unless I send for you, and you will be blocked. The block is hot. The block is hot. All right, let's get it popping. All right, so Porsha has gone back to protest in Louisiana on behalf of Breonna Taylor. And once again, she is arrested. This time they try to make an example out of her by letting her be the last one to be released. And once again, all I can say is I'm really proud of Porsha and how far she's come, because you know this is the same girl that thought it wasn't 365 days in a year, that thought the Underground Railroad was really a railroad or a train. So she's come a long way. Very proud of her and all the work that she put in through the summer. So Drew is at home with her family. Things are still very much strained between her and her husband Ralph. They have church in the living room with her mother, and the mama say that the sermon that day is on bridle your tongue. And she look over at Ralph like, yeah, nigga, I'm talking about you. And he was like, you know, like, so the sermon about me today? He was like, I feel like that is a message for all of us. And so he feels like him and Drew need work. And she says that he needs to just bite his, basically like just hold his tongue and listen instead of always just being on the defensive all the time. And he is a very defensive person. Like he just jumps right in, like straight to the throat, like calm down, nigga, take a Xanax. So he and her mama start going back and forth, and Drew feel like she in the middle. It's just a mess. Like you can tell, like, based on her expressions on her face, she is tired and she mentally has checked out already, but for whatever reason she's still holding on to a relationship, hoping that things can get better and change. But that marriage is doomed. I doubt they make it past season 2 if she get asked back. So Toya visits Kenya at her house. She looked really cute. I liked her outfit. Kenya lets us know that she adores her some Toya. She loves her so much. And Toya, you know, loves her back. It was like, oh my God, we're like twins. And I was like, calm the fuck down, bitches. So Kenya says, you know, I know. So Kenya was like, I told Cynthia and Keisha, me, what you said about the pet cat. And Toya was like, I'm just not a wig person. And Kenya says, I'm with you, but every now and then, you know, you have to, you know, whether for some protective style or whatever. And I was like, bitch, you better have said that, because we know we done clocked you wearing several wigs yourself, sis. So Toya says, at least get a person who knows how to put it on. Let's just call a wig, a spade a spade. That is not a wig. It's a pet. We need to call it out and get her a new wig. And I was like, that's what you really get to come on the show to do, to make fun of another woman and clown her hair and embarrass her, and like that's really gonna be your entryway into the show, your storyline. Like, first of all, it's unoriginal. Like, second of all, you too old. Third of all, it's childish as fuck. And fourth of all, I hope she cussed you the fuck out. So Kenya say, what's the pet name? And Toya says, Drewisha. And Kenya just cackles like the shit was so funny. I was like, girl, that ain't even original. Like, that shit was corny as hell. I felt like, they was doing team too much. I did not like Kenya in this scene with Toya. It was like two bitches from the Bad Girls Club. Like, I just did not like it. Kenya, you most certainly look childish as fuck in this scene. And y'all know I love me some Kenya. Y'all got on my head last season for thinking I was being biased and this and that. And like I told you, I ain't got a bias bone in my body. If I feel some type of way, I'm gonna say it. I see things the way I see it. If you don't agree with me, you just don't have to fucking agree with me. But in this scene, Kenya was doing way too much. Toya was doing way too much. It was very catty and petty of them. It didn't make them look good, and I did not like it, because I could see if Drew came for them, if she was being disrespectful or whatever. But but that's not the case. Like, y'all just fucking with her at this point for no reason, and I don't like it. So Kenya, her confessional say, I don't know how you can spend so many years in Hollywood with the best hairdressers in the world, and this is what you come up with. And I was like, bitch, you literally in your confessional looking like you straight out of Wakanda. Looking like you into cosplay. You look ridiculous. Sorry, it doesn't work on you. And I was like, her hair, I could see if her hair was like fucked up. I mean, we've seen some fucked up hairstyles on these shows, but her hair didn't look that bad. It was like, huh? Like, all right. I felt like they was reaching. So Toya says she got that beauty supply wig on her head. What's wrong with a beauty supply wig, girl? That's where you get your braiding hair from. Like, what's so wrong with pack her all of a sudden? Bitch is so bougie that they can only wear bundles. Everybody can't afford bundles, bitch. Girl, bye. So Kenya asked, does she have any other issues with Drew? And Toya was like, no. And so she asked Kenya what she gonna do as far as her relationship is concerned. And Kenya was like, I want to live my life, but I can't if I'm married. And so she says that, you know, she's going to file, and Toya decides she's going to take pictures of Kenya so she can get her on a dating site. And I must say that Kenya's added weight gain makes her fake butt look a lot better, because when she's slimmer, it looks hella fake. I mean, it don't move when she walk. We saw that on tonight's episode. But there was more of a roundness to it. It didn't look so padded. Like, it looked better on her. So if she could figure out a way to keep the bottom half or whatever and work on the top, I don't know. So, me, Cynthia, Kenya, and Candy are exercising because we all fat as fuck because of COVID. And Cynthia tells us about the wedding and how she wants a certain venue and she wants all her 250 guests. And I'm going to tell y'all how I feel about this whole wedding situation, because, you know, it was driving me nuts having to hear this bitch talk about it all season, having to go to meetings with her, pick out shit with her, have her calling me crying. Like, I was like, I left this relationship for a reason, bitch. I want it out. Like, leave me the fuck alone. So, Kenya wants her to hire her as her wedding planner. And I was like, Kenya, okay, girl, work on your marriage. So Candy asks, have they done the prenup yet? And Cynthia says no. And Candy was like, girl, don't wait. I'm telling you, don't wait. And even Kenya agrees, and I agree too. I feel like that's one of the things that when you start planning the wedding, that's something that immediately needs to be taken care of, so you won't have to be going back and forth, you know, about it throughout the wedding process. And you especially don't want to wait up until the last day to handle something so important. So, Candy tells, I love Candy's confessional look. I loved her hair being slicked back with the flip. Her makeup was beautiful. The dress was outdated to me, but for some reason, it still all went together. She looked classic. She looked beautiful. She looked current and up to date. I loved it. That was one of her best confessional looks thus far. So, Kenya wishes that she would have gotten a prenup now. And I was like, I know you do, especially now that you know this nigga ain't really got a coin like that. So I, however, do love them as a trio. I love Kenya, Cynthia, and Candy being friends. Porsha and Lauren go pick up Tanya, whose body is amazing. Like, say what you want about Tanya, whatever her name is, her body is amazing. So they go over to the new girl, Fallon's house. And Fallon's husband owns a restaurant, and his name is Simon. So they get over to the house, and first of all, they was acting like they have been trapped in the closet for like 9 million years. Because I was like, y'all act like y'all ain't never been to a pool before. Like, they was doing the most. But we get to Fallon's house, and Fallon opens the door, and she is drop dead gorgeous. I mean, melanin on fleek, beautiful skin, beautiful girl. I don't know if she's just African-American, United States bound, or is she like African, like Ethiopian or something, but she is beautiful. Gorgeous girl. Kind of a little bit superficial, but I still liked her, and I got a cute vibe from her. So where was I at? We're introduced to her husband, and he an old nigga. Fallon wasn't stupid. She got her old nigga that was gonna kiss her feet and pamper her and be, you know, have her be his trophy wife. Fallon ain't no fool. At least he was like a hip older man, because his outfit and everything was on point, but he was clearly older than her. I don't know if he was African as well. But you know, this what them hoes in Atlanta do. They go get them an African man, aka Shamil, with some money. And I ain't mad at you, bitch, because I mean her house is beautiful and that nigga seems to take care of her and cater to all of her needs. So she and Porsha talk about how I'm sorry, before they even get over to Fallon's house, Tanya and Porsha talk about how quarantine affected their relationship. And they both were saying how when quarantine first started, everything was peachy keen. Everybody was getting along. It was like a honeymoon phase. And then after a while, they was like going at each other's throats. And so now, you know, Porsha and Dennis at this point in the filming had separated. And she says in her confessional, I don't like who I am in this relationship. And I was like, girl, we didn't like who you was in this relationship this whole time. From the moment you introduced this nigga, we didn't like how you were with him. So she says that mentally she just cannot deal with the breakup right now. She just got too much stuff going on and she just mentally can't handle it. So, while they're sitting in the hot tub at Fallon's house, they talk about police brutality and everything and how it's affecting the black community and them as, you know, people. And then at the end of their little their little soiree, Fallon gifts the girls with parting gifts. And I was like, okay, you a classy bitch, Fallon. Y'all got a cute little coin over here. I did kind of find it a little bit weird at some point when they was in a pool and she yells over to her husband, baby, turn on the hot tub for me. He was just sitting there smoking and watching them. I was like, why is he sitting outside just looking at them? That was a bit weird. I was like, do this nigga want a foursome or a fivesome? What is going on here? So Drew and Ralph are preparing for their new home, but the paperwork ain't done yet. So it's not your home. They ain't signed shit. They still got several steps to go. So I'm like, how is this your home? And how are you talking about putting stuff over there when you ain't signed the papers? Now, I don't know much about buying a home, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you have purchased your own homes. So can you do that? I ain't never heard no shit like that before. Can you claim a house is yours when the paperwork has not been signed and still there's several layers of things that still need to be done? Let me know down below in the comment section. So she wants to be a part of the process, but he wants her to just focus on packing up the house. So he one of them niggas that want a bitch just to be seen and not heard. He wants to take control of everything and she just be the cute little pretty housewife. And that's probably what I'm seeing is the problem with their relationship, is that she's not just going to sit back and do what the fuck he tell her to do. And that's a problem for him. But let me tell you one thing, Drew, you better not be no fool and let this nigga handle everything. And you find out that the shit is all in his name. And anytime he want to, he could put your ass the fuck out. You better make sure that your name is on something that you know, girl, don't be no fool. Cause he a shiesty nigga right there. You could sell that from a mile away that he got several tricks up his sleeve. So, Drew tells him that she got them a counselor, a marriage counselor. And Ralph says, you know, did you speak to her already? Did you give her already a bias on me so she can prejudge me? And it was like, where all that come from? I just simply told you that I got us a counselor. Now you jumping down my throat trying to accuse me of making her biased towards you and filling her head with my side of the story. It was like, nigga, what? Like, I don't understand this relationship. Like, are they being for real? Is this for the camera? I'm like, because this nigga can't be like this in real life. And her willingly putting up with this nigga. And even she was like, you're always finding something wrong in what I did, even when I didn't do anything. Like, because either he just a super paranoid person or he just hella controlling. But whatever it is, I don't like it. Don't like it, and it's starting to irk the fuck out of me. So me, Cynthia, Mike, and Mal goes to see the wedding venue. And it was a beautiful venue. The wedding planner tells us that she wants an aerialist to be in the sky as soon as the guest walks in. They're going to have a whole room dedicated to a huge charcuterie board. And I love me a charcuterie board. Mike loves the venue. Mal loves the venue. And Mal says, you know, to Cynthia, you can still have the wedding at Lake Bailey Irvin and have it be small. Cynthia wants to keep the date and have a big wedding, however, and she says that it's because Mike hasn't had the pleasure of having a big wedding. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that that is a part of it, but I also believe that Cynthia wanted to have a big wedding because she knows that this probably will be her last season if she moves to LA. She wanted to go out with a bang, and because her first wedding did not go off as planned. So she wants to redo her wedding now that, you know, that first one turned out to be what it was. So he says that he doesn't have to have all of that though. He just wants to marry her. And that's been his standpoint. Like, I just want to marry you. I don't give a fuck about all the glitter and glam and all that stuff. I just want to marry you. It doesn't even matter where it's at. But Cynthia is dead set on having this huge, big ass wedding in this fucking pandemic. And if she can't get the wedding that she wants to push it off. If I were Cynthia, I would have settled for a small, intimate wedding, just like my girl Morgan Stewart, who's one of the co-hosts on E's Daily Pop. Because of the pandemic, because she's pregnant, they literally had a 10-person wedding. Her nigga, or her husband, her parents, his brothers and sisters, and that was it. It was beautifully done. It was gorgeous. It was intimate. All the people that you know, love and care about you are there. Not just people there to talk and see what you got on and see how much money you spent. But the people that actually care. I would have that any day with the man that I love. And then if I want to later on have the big party, let's do that. Or even have another wedding for all the people that couldn't be there to see us, say our I do's. Do that later. But if it's just because of the date, I would still keep the date and have a small intimate wedding. Why not do that? But she wanted to, like I said, have this big thing because that was her storyline as well. That was her storyline for this season. If she didn't have the wedding, what was her storyline going to be? Exactly. So, Cynthia feels some type of way because she don't like the fact that Mal keep on agreeing with Mike. Mike says, are we going to get married no matter what? And Cynthia was like, I don't know, Mike. And of course that hurt his feelings. He feeling some type of way. Mike says it shouldn't matter who's around us. And I agree. I felt like Cynthia was being a bridezilla, like a motherfucker. And Cynthia says, I want to be excited about getting married. And I was like, you wouldn't be excited just to marry him? Like, I thought it was about marrying him. I didn't understand Cynthia. Mike says, you don't sound like it. And Cynthia says, it's not about the wedding. I love this man. You guys are making me feel like an asshole. You were acting like an asshole. And I hope that watching this back, she sees how fucking crazy she was acting and behaving. So she get mad and she walk off and everything all awkward and intense after that. And so they leave and Cynthia in the car feeling some type of way. She's sad. And Cynthia says, at least you like the venue. And Mike says, what if I didn't? She was like, well, then we wouldn't be getting married there. That ain't what I want. So Mike says, people don't talk about the wedding. They talk about the marriage. If we can't get married there, I don't want to get married at all that day. We'll postpone the wedding. And Cynthia say, I feel like you feel like I should just be enough. What? That is how he should feel. So they argue back and forth. And Mike say, you know what? Are we going to get married on October 10th? And Cynthia say, I don't know. And Mike was like, all right, we good. I'm not doing this no more. He snatched the camera off. And I didn't blame him because she was being a bridezilla. She was being an asshole. She was being a brat. It was like, girl, like, I thought you loved this man so much. Marry him. This about him. Y'all joining y'all families together. His daughters and your daughter. Like, all the pomp and circumstance. A, you going to save money. And B, it's not all about that, girl. You could have still had a beautiful wedding without all of the glitz and glamour. And to be honest with you, she wanted to get married there because she wanted to get married outside in the gazebo, which was beautiful. But when the actual day came, she couldn't even get married out there because it rained. So if you would have waited, you probably would have got the wedding that you wanted to. Because the pictures that we saw, although it was a cute wedding, you could still tell it was rushed. It looked rushed to me and looked cramped to me. Especially since everybody had to be indoors all at once. Sometimes God does things for a reason. That's all I got to say. So I love you guys. Thank you for watching this review. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Once again, I pray that you guys have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. Wear your mask. Cherish your family while they are here. Love on them. All of that good stuff, because my family is going through some things right now. So keep my family in your prayers. But just love on your family. You never know when their last day on this earth may be. So cherish every moment that you have with them. Like I said, have a happy holidays, you guys. We made it another year, prayerfully. I love you and thank you for all of your support with my channel. Merry, Merry Christmas. I love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye.